Beneath a flower pot, something ancient is trying to escape the light. It is gray, armored, and barely longer than a fingernail. You may call it a slater, a woodlouse, a pillbug, or a roly-poly. But it is not a bug. It is a crustacean, a distant relative of crabs and lobsters that moved onto land without ever completely leaving the sea behind. Its lungs are hidden beneath its tail. Its babies grow inside a private ocean. It replaces its armor in two separate pieces. And sometimes, a bacterium reaches inside and rewrites whether it develops as male or female. This is the woodlouse. And these are 10 things hiding beneath its shell. An adult woodlouse walks on 7 pairs of legs. That immediately separates it from insects, which have only 3 pairs. Its segmented armor, jointed limbs, and internal anatomy place it among the isopod crustaceans. Most crustaceans stayed in water. Woodlice became one of the few major crustacean groups to establish themselves permanently on land. But evolution did not simply turn them into insects. Instead, it kept modifying old aquatic equipment. The result is an animal that lives beneath your pot plants while still carrying the blueprint of an underwater body. Turn a woodlouse over and look beneath the rear of its body. The pale patches there are not markings. They are respiratory structures built into abdominal appendages called pleopods. In aquatic isopods, pleopods help with swimming and gas exchange. In terrestrial species, some have been remodeled into tiny air-breathing organs known as pleopodal lungs. The common rough woodlouse has lungs in its first 2 pairs of pleopods. Other pleopods retain more gill-like functions. So the animal beneath your flower pot breathes through structures descended from underwater limbs. It did not abandon its aquatic machinery. It renovated it. A female woodlouse does not simply lay her eggs in the soil. Plates beneath her body form a sealed brood pouch called a marsupium. Inside that pouch, she maintains a protected, fluid-filled environment. The embryos receive water and oxygen while developing through their earliest stages. Specialized tissues in the pouch help maintain the conditions they need. This is how a crustacean reproduces away from open water. The mother carries the missing pond with her. Underneath a dry piece of bark, dozens of embryos may be developing inside a tiny private sea. Most arthropods shed their old exoskeleton in one event. Woodlice do something stranger. They undergo a biphasic molt. First, the armor covering the rear half of the body is shed. After an interval, the front half follows. During this process, a woodlouse can appear to have 2 different colors, one half newly exposed and pale, the other still wearing its older shell. For a time, the animal is walking around between 2 versions of itself, half renewed, half waiting. Building a new shell requires calcium. Before molting, many terrestrial isopods form pale deposits of calcium carbonate beneath plates on the front half of the body. These deposits are temporary reserves, construction material stored inside the animal immediately before it is needed. As the new exoskeleton hardens, the calcium is moved and reused. The woodlouse does not wait to find enough minerals after discarding its protection. It carries spare armor beneath the armor it is preparing to lose. Not every woodlouse can roll into a perfect sphere. Those that can perform a behavior called conglobation. It is usually described as defense. A predator is presented with a hard, nearly seamless ball instead of exposed legs and softer body parts. But the ball also controls water loss. In experiments with the common pillbug, rolled individuals lost about 35% less water than unrolled individuals. Their measured metabolic activity also fell. The ball is not merely a shield, it is a temporary low-power survival mode. Occasionally, someone lifts a stone and finds a woodlouse glowing an unnatural blue or violet. It may look like a rare color mutation. Instead, researchers have found densely packed iridovirus particles inside the animal's tissues. The particles form ordered arrays that create the striking blue-purple appearance. The color is therefore not really pigment. It is light interacting with the physical structure of an infection. A blue woodlouse can be beautiful because a virus has reorganized its body into something that reflects light differently. Inside some woodlice lives a bacterium called Wolbachia. Wolbachia passes primarily from mothers to their offspring. Males are evolutionary dead ends for a bacterium inherited through eggs, so some strains manipulate their hosts to produce more females. Experiments with the common woodlouse Oniscus ocellus showed that Wolbachia could feminize genetic males, allowing them to develop as functional females. In female-biased broods, the bacterium reached roughly 88% of the offspring. The creature appears to be one animal, but part of its reproductive biology may be directed by another organism living inside it. Woodlice consume decaying leaves, fungi, and microbial growth. They also practice coprophagy, eating their own droppings or those left by other woodlice. This is not simply indiscriminate scavenging. A woodlouse dropping is partially processed plant material that has been exposed to a dense community of microbes. Sending it through the digestive system again offers another opportunity to obtain nutrients and interact with those microorganisms. Beneath the flowerpot, digestion is not a straight line. It is a recycling loop. Woodlice feed directly on material at the boundary between dead leaves and soil. That puts them in contact with metals present in their environment. Studies have found cadmium, lead, and zinc accumulating in their bodies, particularly in the digestive organ known as the hepatopancreas. The amount and effect vary between species, so a woodlouse should not be described as a universal soil cleaning machine. But researchers can use these animals as biological evidence of contamination. The small gray crustacean beneath a log may contain a chemical record of the ground it has been walking across. A woodlouse appears simple because it is small. Look closer, and it becomes a compromise millions of years in the making. A crustacean breathing through modified swimming limbs. A mother carrying water for embryos that have never seen the sea. An animal that rebuilds itself one half at a time, stores minerals for armor, enters a water-saving ball, recycles its own waste, and carries microbes capable of altering its biology. It is not merely hiding beneath the flowerpot. It is maintaining a tiny piece of the ocean there. You only had to lift the pot to find it. Backyard file. Calm, evidence-led field notes on the strange life just outside your door.